Did you know that laundromats of ancient Rome used urine as the detergent? Hello and welcome to World History Encyclopedia. My name is Kelly and today's video is all about the fullers of ancient Rome and how the Romans got their clothes cleaned. World History Encyclopedia is a non-profit organisation and you can find us on Patreon, a brilliant site where you can support our work and receive exclusive benefits in return. Your support helps us create videos twice a week, so make sure to check it out via the pop-up in the top corner of the screen or via the Patreon link down below. Professional launderers in ancient Rome were known as fullers, from the Latin fullones, meaning a bleacher or cleaner of clothing. When you wanted your wash done, you would bring your clothes to the fullonica, the Roman version of today's laundromat, and the fuller would return them to you clean, bright, and fresh. There were probably plenty of places in Rome people never went to, but everyone went to the fullers because the Romans placed great value on personal appearance and clothes signified social status, and no one wanted to go out in public looking less than their best. The occupation of the fuller first appears in Mesopotamia and features in a comedic dialogue at the Cleaners, dated to circa 1600 BCE, between an annoying customer and a long-suffering fuller on how best to clean clothes, making fun of the concept of the customer's always right. Fullers also appear as an important occupation in ancient Egypt and Greece, and are mentioned in the Bible in Mark 9:3, which describes the transfiguration of Jesus Christ, where it is said his robes became a dazzling white as no fuller on earth can white them. This line references one of the fuller's main responsibilities, cleaning clothes to make them as bright as possible. They had no soap, and so their all-powerful cleaning detergent was urine. Urine would be collected from public restrooms throughout the city, as well as animal urine from outlying farms, and this was the central cleaning agent of the fuller. Did you know that only a small fraction of viewers are subscribers? Be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of our new videos, and to help us create more great history content. Just like people today, the ancient Romans viewed clothing as a status symbol. Today, you'd maybe buy yourself a Louis Vuitton scarf or bag, but in ancient Rome, it would have been a nice toga, or for a woman, a stola. Although Roman males are famously depicted as wearing togas, they were only for the upper class. It was against the law for lower class men to wear one, and the same for the female counterpart of the toga, the stola. These were both large, expensive garments draped over one's body and could be quite difficult to manage. It's easy to imagine a toga or stola becoming soiled, toward the feet especially, walking through the streets of Rome. Most people wore tunics, knee-length sleeveless garments, or tunics over trousers or with kilts, as in the military. And everyone wore underwear, loincloths for men and women, and a breastband for women known as a strophion. Besides these, there were capes, shawls, gowns, scarves, cloaks, and all of these needed to be washed for the wearer to make the right impression in public. Water was brought into Rome via aqueducts, which fed the public baths, fountains, and businesses, not private residences. And so, unless you wanted to cart water from a public source to your home and supply your own urine, you had to take your clothes to the fuller. You would go to the fullonica and give the fuller your order. The fuller was then completely responsible for each article of clothing and, if it became lost, would have to replace it. Each client's order was therefore kept together throughout the process, so it wouldn't get mixed up with any other. The process began before it even began. Before the working day started, the fuller would go around to public restrooms or street urinals and collect urine, which would be poured into vats in the shop. These vats were anchored to the floor or on raised platforms, and after the urine was added, a quantity of water would follow, and then the client's order would be dropped in. The fuller or one of his employees or slaves would then climb into the vat and tread on the clothing to agitate it, balancing against the top of the low wall that separated one vat from another, as they went around and around, serving as a human washing machine. Once the wash cycle was done, the clothes were removed from the vats and squeezed out either by hand or through a press. They were then beaten with a stick to loosen any remaining dirt, and then dumped into rinsing bowls. The fuller would again agitate the clothing in these bowls, and then inspect them. If they were not fully clean, they would have to return to the washing cycle. But if everything looked good, they moved on to the drying process. The clothes were again wrung out by hand or through a press, and spread on racks in an open area to dry. All white clothing was placed on wicker frames over burning sulfur to bleach them, while coloured clothing were rubbed with a substance known as fuller's earth, which helped restore colour, removed any lingering stain, and helped preserve the life of the garment. Once the clothes were dried and folded, the bundle was tagged with the client's name and moved to a shelf to await pickup. Depending on the size of the shop, a fuller either did one client's order at a time or multiple orders, but each order moved through the process on its own, so as to prevent loss. Clothes were extremely expensive, and the loss of a tunic or even underwear would cost a fuller dearly. Fullers also patched clothing, dyed clothes, prepared fabric to be made into clothing, and waterproofed garments like capes and cloaks. The dyeing section of the shop was kept separate from the washing and rinsing area, and the same with the drying sections for cleaned or dyed garments. So, as you see, the fuller performed an important function in Rome and worked hard all day every day, but they were generally looked down upon because of their association with urine, and especially their seeming preoccupation with acquiring it. Every fuller needed a quantity of urine every day, and although there are no records of anything like urine wars between shops, there must have been considerable rivalry and competition in getting to the most plentiful supply before someone else. Urine became so valuable, in fact, that during the reign of Emperor Vespasian, he taxed it. Fullers may have been mocked and served as the butt of jokes, but they had the last laugh because no one could do without them. Many fullers lived comfortable lives, and some were wealthy enough to contribute to public monuments and festivals. The patron deity of fullers was the goddess Minerva, owing to her association with weaving and crafts. And fullers celebrated her festival of the Quinquatria every year on March 19, or after it was extended between the 19th and 23rd of March, and were flush enough financially to pay for all the food and drink during the celebration. The best example of a successful fuller and the most perfectly preserved fullernica comes from the ruins of Pompeii and is known as the fullernica of Stephanus, discovered between 1912 and 1914. Stephanus had converted part of his home into a fullernica and was clearly successful, as evidence suggests he had several workers, employees, or slaves under him. The shop was located on a block of buildings that would be known today as a strip mall and included the Roman version of McDonald's, the Thermopolium, a popular fast food venue, as well as other stores. But it wouldn't have really mattered if Stephanus's shop was off on some side street or in a frequently visited spot like this mall, because every day, rain or shine, the people of Rome had no choice but to gather up their soiled clothes and take them to the fuller. Would you have liked to have been a fuller in ancient Rome? Let us know in the comments below. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on our new videos published every single week. This video was brought to you by World History Encyclopedia. For more great articles and interactive content, head to our website via the link below. If you like my sweater, you can find this design and a bunch more in our shop at worldhistory.store, or you can find a link for it down below. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you soon with another video.